Oh, well, my name's Timothy Knapman, and I co-wrote the lyrics and I wrote the book of Imaginary.
I'm Stuart Matthew Price. I wrote the music and co-wrote the lyrics.
Imaginary is the story of two best friends, Sam and Milo, who create a fantastic imaginary world whenever they're together, just using the powers of their imaginations, acting on ordinary things, very ordinary things in the very ordinary world they live in.
I started writing the show alone and had met Tim at that point, and I very quickly realised that I can't write an entire musical on my own and that I needed a bit more genius to come in and turn whatever I write into pure gold. And I was introduced to Tim, and that situation started to evolve from an idea that I sort of constructed, and Tim would take the idea, strip away all the bad stuff, because I have a tendency to overcomplicate storylines, and Tim's fantastic at just getting the simple protagonist story. And enjoy life.
And the rather timid boy, the one, I think I'm more identified with him, I think, but he's the one where he wants to do all these things. And he keeps being slightly led astray by Milo, but willingly, because he wants to have the adventure as well, doesn't he?
It's funny because I feel like I'm probably a bit more Milo when I was a kid. I wasn't naughty, I was quite quiet, but I remember my parents told me that we went to a few caravan parks when I was a kid, as like mini family holidays. And I would just run off. As soon as they turned their back, I would run off, and I would find another person would just pick me up and bring me back to my parents and go, "Here's your son again." I'd just run off, and at one point they tied me to a pole so that I would just run around until I tied myself up, and then I'd run away again. And it was just, so I think, yeah, I probably had the energy of Milo.
Yeah.
I had an imaginary friend.
No, my brother had an imaginary friend. I never did, but what was so interesting about them, it was sort of, I felt like he's younger than me, and I had a sort of envy, because I thought, that looks fun, you know. I wanted to go into that world, you know, where that sort of thing is possible, and I never did until I co-wrote the show, I guess.
Bob.
Right, I was going to say, mine would be a small accountant called Baxter.
A small accountant?
Accountant, yes.
Of course.
Quite.
So they are just young stars of the future, as far as I'm concerned. They were so inspiring, and just a huge love for whatever we threw at them, whether we were going to cut it or try an idea out. They were just giving 150%. They helped craft the show that we had.
Yeah, and they don't get very long, do they? They get it's about 2 weeks rehearsal. It was like a week's workshop and then 9 days rehearsal. And that's about it. But because we obviously were sending them stuff beforehand, they could rehearse it and prepare and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of think, if you're that age, are you really going to do that? And they all did. And whenever you left the rehearsal room, anybody not in the rehearsal room would be doing the dance numbers, or would be rehearsing and practicing and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it wasn't our intention to necessarily do that, but there was no reason to not, because actually we feel it reflects the modern world, and it's a modern contemporary musical. And even when we're doing there's a song called "The Best," which is the parents getting their kids ready for school and then sending them off to their first day of school. And we just sat and thought, why isn't there a gay couple? Why isn't there a single parent? And let's just represent families of today, because that's what the children will look and recognise, and it will hopefully educate people to just get over themselves and enjoy the wonderful world that we actually live in. It's really fun working with Tim, because he's a big kid, so we sort of
bigger than I was, but yes.
But we play off each other a lot,
yeah.
and I think that's what makes it quite fun. So actually, I'd probably say Tim keeps me young, and I hope that I sort of keep him young.
So anything that you can do to put yourselves in, to put your imagination into it, to explore that, to find the vitality in that, that's what we wrote it for, that's what we want to encourage people to do. So however you can do that, that's fine by us.